I'm Eric Nason with Newsshooter.com, and we are at IBC 2018. I am with Ted from Aputure. How's it going, Ted?
Doing good. We are sleepy because we are going nonstop, and these trade shows don't stop.
Go, go, go!
Yes, indeed.
So speaking of go, 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 you guys showed us this RGB light at NAB. We had a little sneak peek, and we actually have one on the floor today.
On the floor. So at NAB, we teased it. It was sort of under a glass case the whole time. And the main thing was just showing that a lot of people have been asking Aputure, RGB, where's your RGB model? And we didn't want to release it because we wanted to show what's after RGB. And we want to think about, yes, RGB is on the market now. What's the next step? So for us, if you didn't hear us at NAB, what we think the next step for RGB is the idea of an Aputure color picker. So the idea of this is it would be just like in Photoshop, how you have an eyedropper tool, except in real life. What if I could grab the red from the A behind us, if I could grab the blue from the banner in front of us, the green from a stoplight, and have my light automatically mimic that color? Or what if I go into an ugly fluorescent lighting situation, and I could have my light automatically mimic that ugly fluorescent lighting? So I don't have to worry about matching anymore, I don't need to worry about gels. So we think that's the next step. In addition to that, the idea of having an Aputure color picker means that in real time we could measure color and we could record color. What if we went and saw a Fiji sunset, or we saw, maybe a Saharan sunset, or the flicker from a TV? We could record that intensity change and that color change, save it, replay it, send it to our friends that are shooting in London or Paris or wherever they are in the world. If we pick one good color, we could really send that anywhere. So this is what we're working on right now. This is the Aputure color picker, but we do, for the first time, have pricing and availability, which I'll get to in a bit. But first, let's go through a couple of the functions of the actual light. So this right here, super, super tough build quality light here. This is a panel style light. It's a WWRGB light, so two types of W, so two types of white. We have a daylight white and a tungsten white. So we have 5 types of LEDs that are built into this actual console. This is a 300 watt LED. As far as brightness goes, I don't want to give you equivalents because it's hard. Depending on what color you're using or what color temperature you're using, you're going to get a different amount of output. But if you want a comparison to another LED, this is about the equivalent to an S30. So a very, very bright, punchy industry light.
And soft.
Very soft, yes. Panel lighting comes out soft out the gate. And you can see it's kind of lighting us a little bit right now. Looks good, I hope. If we don't have giant bags under our eyes or something like that. But moving on, this does everything that you would expect a traditional RGB light to do. Now CCT, we can take this all the way down to a CCT color temperature of 2,800 Kelvin for a super warm glow. And we can go all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin for an extremely, extremely blue daylight. For the first time, an Aputure light is also building in green and magenta shift. So you can see I've got 10 steps of different green and different magenta, and it really plays. You can see it in effect immediately. Dimmable all the way up to 100%. I'm going to keep it low since we're recording and shooting into this light. When I go to my meter modes, I'm really excited to show this off. In terms of our gelling options, we have not Lee or Roscoe, we have Lee and Roscoe. So
very nice.
350 plus gels is what we're planning on building into this. We've got those here today to show. If you go into the actual settings, I can go really fast. I'll pick a fun one that I think we can all see immediately. How about double CTO? Click on double CTO, immediately it plays into effect. If I want to see what it looks like on a 3200 Kelvin light, I can do that, or I can shift it and see what it looks like on a 5600 light. Immediately I can go between the two modes of seeing what it looks like. We are doing the color science and the color math for you, building it into the light. If you want to audition that light on and off, really easy to do as well. I can turn that on and off, no problem. I can see what it looks like with and without the gel, and of course I can dim all that as well. Now, there are a lot of features I can go through with this light. I'm going to try to keep it short though. HSI mode. Of course, I can go through and literally pick what color I want on a 360 color wheel. We've got that.
You're on fire right now.
I'm going to desatch that a little bit, give it a little bit more of a pink, palatable social media look. I'll go to my modes. If I go into my lighting modes, I can also do everything from DMX. 5-pin DMX is built into this light. I can change my dimming curve if I want to have an S or a logarithmic dimming curve when I change my intensity, or I can go down here and have my built-in effects. I've got pulsing, fireworks, a faulty bulb, cop car, party lights. Just for fun, let's do a cop's car. We've got a blue cop car effect here. I can change that to a red and blue cop car, or I can do a blue and white cop car. Really, we've built in so many options to this light, red, blue, and white, so that you can customize your effects, change your intensity, your frequency, so that your effect doesn't look like anybody else's effect.
Right now, I feel like I've done something wrong.
I know, the constant time for new technology. Right here, we've got party effects, so you can also save presets. Right here, I save party to preset 1. I've got cop car in preset 3, so I can just switch between these however I need, or just go back to CCT mode as we need as well. I'm going to dim this down because it's super bright.
It's super bright, yeah.
Again, what you would expect out of a light like this is a battery powerable light as well, so I can go off of 2 V-mount batteries. It pulls about 300 watts of power, so do the math in terms of if you have about 2 90-watt batteries, that'll give you approximately an hour, 45 minutes of battery life.
Is there an ampage that you need to look at when you're buying a battery for the light?
Absolutely. I don't have that confirmed yet, but I should have it before the pricing and availability comes out as well. So for availability, we're expecting that this light will come out. This is the last time you're going to see it at a show before it releases. It'll be out before NAB. Realistically, it'll be out probably 2 to 3 weeks right before NAB. The color picker is going to be sold separately, or you can buy it together as a package. If you want to buy just the light for now, we're thinking it's going to be approximately $1,500, which is something we're really excited about because for us, this means that it's one of the first times that filmmakers can really own RGB.
Yeah, that's a great price point. That's really good. Now, the color picker, is that going to, you think it's going to be available around the same time?
Yes, it should be available around the same time. It'll be, again, optional buy-on. If you want just an RGB light, you can get that. If you want the function of the color picker. If you mentioned and saw in some of the previous videos, the color picker is so exciting, not just because if you're going to use the Aputure ecosystem, but also if you're currently using any other RGB ecosystem, you could actually use the Aputure color picker and do a master-slave function where you can actually pick colors using the Aputure light and then send it to any other RGB light that has DMX. You can actually have them mimic the same light. So really we're adding functions, so even if you already own an RGB lineup, this light could bring something new features to your lineup.
That's fantastic. I really like the LCD screen on here. It's nice and it's very easy to read.
Large.
I mean, I don't have my glasses on and I actually can read this. This is great.
I think it's a big deal. I think, again, the details matter so much. When you're on a film set, sure, right now I can bring it real close to my face and I can see my menus, but on a film set it's dark, you're tired, you're running. We know what it's like to be on those sets. We know what it's like to, have eaten crafty for the past 20 days and we try to make it as easy as possible.
Now, as far as mounting, this is a pretty good sized ballast.
Beefy sized ballast.
Are you able to, integrate everything onto the light if you have space issues?
Absolutely. So if you go to the back of the light, you'll see, of course, you can actually mount everything here. Now, again, I know you guys are watching on video. Some of you guys are watching at home. You got to just feel this thing. It is rock solid. It's really unlike any other Aputure light that we've ever made before.
Yeah.
And that's exciting for us because I think, at this point, we know that, most filmmakers know about Aputure. And for the high-end people that know about Aputure that are, not sure about trying to, we want to show them that, we're ready for really big and serious productions. The 300D is already on movie sets, but we're ready to go to the next level. We really want to compete with the best. And through the support and kind of, feedback that we've gotten through our units, we think that this is really the culmination of Aputure really coming to the top of lighting, and we're excited to bring this one out.
The yoke is very firm. Like, it's not flexing.
It's rock solid. It's definitely the heaviest Aputure light we've brought out to date, which we think is good. It's beefy, it's solid. I think it's something that traditional grips and gaffers, that have trucks will be used to using.
Now, the color picker, did you mention about what the price point was going to be around there?
Don't have that set yet. As soon as I do, I promise we'll release it. Again, we have an Aputure user group. I'm sure most of the people already know that. If you want to go on there, we'll probably include and release that news as soon as we have it.
All right, exciting stuff, Ted. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric.